Look, I'm loving Honkai Star Rail, and I'm still a big fan of Genshin, but I can't help but feel like the neglected middle child where the parents mess up, learn from their mistakes, and give the new child all the fancy new toys. So let's talk about 8 upgrades that Honkai Star Rail got that we wanted in Genshin. Number 1, energy power creep. Genshin has always felt to me like there is not enough energy to level up all the characters you want to, which honestly, that might be my fault. I can't help but want to collect everyone. But Star Rail's buffed energy system makes it feel more possible to do so. They have a higher capacity for energy, regenerate energy at a faster speed, have a cheaper refill system, and allow for more paid refills. Those last 2 points will definitely trigger the
free to play, by the way,
fan base, but the point stands on the first 2 parts, and the option is there for dolphins and whales. Number 2, native borderless full screen mode on PC. I know in Genshin you can change the properties on the launcher or launch it through Steam and force it into borderless full screen. It's not a hard workaround. It takes a few minutes to Google and set the parameters, but you know what was nice? Launching Star Rail and the game just defaulted into borderless full screen. Is it a moot point? Sure. Am I a lazy person? Probably. But where you might argue it's not a hard workaround,
then it shouldn't be that hard to put in.
Number 3, 5-star select ticket. I know this only applies to the standard banner, and the standard characters in Genshin have been power crept so hard in the last update, but I'm always down for free stuff. And I know you guys are too. I see you guys in Discord in the comment section spamming Chi-Chi Fallen and Apologems please. Even if it's just a standard banner 5-star, I love any extra characters. And hey, some people got those day 1 accounts who are somehow still missing that single character from standard pool. No joke, mine was actually Chi-Chi. Everyone was saying they are played with C9 Chi-Chi, and it took me a year before I got my first copy. Number 4, expeditions. Alright, this will probably get a lot of hate just like the borderless full screen point, but a redeploy button for expedition. Look, I know this is another small quality of life feature, and I'm sure the comments will have people saying, suck it up Buttercup, it's an extra keystroke, but sometimes it's the little things that get you through life. Also, again, counter argument.
If it's such a small feature, should be easy to implement.
However, while on topic, expeditions and Star Rails can also farm character EXP mats. Bruh. I love to be drowning in EXP mats instead of Matsutake mushrooms or whatever I'm farming in Genshin. Number 5, store weapons. In Genshin, you have 2 sets of 4-star weapons you can buy with the currency you get from rolling gacha. In Star Rail, you can buy 5-star weapons with that currency. Now, of course, for the longtime players, this isn't going to do a whole lot. The standard weapons would be the Skyward weapons, which at this point are not the best in slot for many characters, but this might be a nice option for the newer players who don't pull on weapon banners, or maybe you just really want to R5 that Skyward blade for Bennett. Number 6, team setup. Okay, I'm really going to sound like a nitpicking on this one,
but the 0 load time is very nice in Star Rail.
Which is sad because Star Rail doesn't even need it, because you probably rarely change your team. However, in Genshin, I know you've had those moments where you come across an elemental monument and you don't have that character in your team, or you need a bow user for a puzzle, or you're switching out a team for friendship farming, or even just changing the traveler's element. You have to go to a corresponding statue of 7 to do that. In Star Rail, you can just do that anywhere. But again, I know what you're thinking.
Oh my god, people are so impatient, they can't even wait 2 seconds for something.
Yes, you're right. Look, I actually grew up in the time where I had to watch door animations in Resident Evil, that annoying beep boop sequence when connecting to dial-up, and trying to load, we'll say, images online 1 pixel line at a time. That was the true test of patience right there. So, I forgot the exact point I was making with that, but I would like the load times gone in Genshin. Number 7, weapon banners. Now, weapon banners got a major improvement from the early days in Genshin with the implementation of the epitomized pass system. If you want to know how bad it was, I recommend Tectone's video where he pulls for Staff of Homa in 1.3.
I just spent $500 on a children's video game and I got so hard.
That's some quality Schadenfreude content right there. I always feel better about my pulls afterwards. But even with Epitomized Path, and because every banner has 2 featured weapons, the safest way to guarantee you pull the weapon you want is to go in with enough pulls to get 3 5-stars, which in worst case scenario would be over 200 pulls, which is why for dolphins and free-to-play, it isn't really recommended to go for weapons unless you want to gamble or you're just really dedicated to a specific character. Then comes Star Rail, and right from the jump, it's one featured light cone on the banner with the same pity system as characters. So worst case scenario, you're pulling for 2 5-star cones to get the guaranteed. And unlike Epitomized Path, which resets its progress with a new banner, I assume your pity is saved when the new banner shows up, just like character banners. Again, assume and hope. And lastly, number 8, gear rerolling. All right, this is probably the one that has gotten people the most heated, because artifact farming in Genshin has been known as RNG hell for a long time. As of 3.6, Genshin has 28 different 5-star artifact sets. Of those 28 sets, 14 of them can be rerolled in the Strongbox system. In 1.0 of Star Rail, all 20 relic sets are available for reroll. But now, let's back up for 1 second because I can already hear the people starting to keyboard warrior in the comments. I'm not saying Genshin is any worse for not having this system day one in the game. The game was new. They had lots of things to work on, lots of things to add, and eventually they did add the Strongbox system in 2.0. What I am sad about though, is that all the sets are available to reroll from the start in Star Rail. Whereas Genshin, we are getting trickle-fed in batches new sets. Now, put a whole pile of salt next to this point because it really depends on what Star Rail is going to do next. When new sets are unlocked in Star Rail, will they instantly be available for reroll, or are they going to stagger them in batches like Genshin? So for that point, we'll put a pin on that and we'll come back later. However, 2 other things about reroll. In Genshin, you feed 3 pieces of gear to randomly reroll 1 of 5 pieces from a set. In Star Rail, you feed 10 pieces of gear to select 1 piece. On top of that, there is a currency which so far I see is only available from the battle pass that will let you choose the main stat of a gear when you reroll. Now, there will probably be some debate about which ratio is better, but just personally from my experience, I have done rolls in Genshin where I convert over 50 new pieces and I don't even get the piece with the main stat I want. And not even talking about substat rolling hell, I can't even get a copium main stat piece. So personally for me, if we alleviate some of that RNG and artifact re-rolling, I'm all for it. Anyways, that does it for this video on Honkai Star Rail upgrades I'd love to see brought into Genshin. You know what? I came up with this idea a while ago and I've seen so many memes about it on Reddit and everyone seems to be sick of this topic. So I can't wait to read your comments below on how much of a spoiled baby I am and how wrong I am. If you somehow agree with what I said, be sure to like the video because, well, I doubt hoyoverse will see this, but at least it will make me feel validated. Also, for the time being, I'm thinking of becoming a hoyoverse fanboy, so I'll be doing content on Genshin and Star Rail. If you guys want to see more of that, be sure to hit the subscribe button for future videos. And thank you guys again so much for watching and see y'all next time. Peace.